Everything out of me. They gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that. Believe that. I'm a Raven. It's on. All year. Every year.
Hey everybody, welcome in again to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a first preseason game watch list, so to speak. And I'm just going to kind of quickly go through some of the individuals and some of the position groups for the Baltimore Ravens that I'm going to definitely be watching out for. I want to see how certain people rotate. I want to see how much some people play. You know, whether it be for the first team, second team, whatever. I want to see how many, snaps they get. I want to see sort of how they're used, right? I think this is going to be really telling, not just through the first preseason game, but also next week when we have our practice with the Washington Commanders, kind of see who takes first and second team reps against them as well during practice. So, all right, so let's dive in. First group, actually, we'll just talk about the quarterbacks here. Obviously, Lamar Jackson doesn't play. And I'll be honest with you, I want to see more Anthony Brown than Tyler Huntley. And I think the reason for that is because I think Tyler has, I don't know, I feel like he's cooled off. I feel like he's not as far with his progression or growth as I thought he was going to be after the end of last year. And I just feel like Anthony Brown has a higher ceiling than Tyler Huntley, especially with this offense. With the Roman offense, Tyler had, a good amount of flexibility, but I just don't think he takes shots down the field the same way Anthony Brown does. I think Anthony Brown has a more explosive arm. I don't know what it is exactly, but I want to see more Anthony Brown than Tyler Huntley. I don't want to see any of Josh Johnson. Keep him out of here. I don't even want him on the team. Anthony Brown for number 2 quarterback, and then Tyler Huntley for the third. All right, next group. Let's just go through the wide receivers because there's a bunch of guys fighting for, one spot. So I have Devin Duvernay's name highlighted here, but mainly just because in the last couple of days we finally heard his name on a deep shot connection from Lamar, which is good to hear because I was wondering what was going on with him. I don't know if he's going to focus more on return specialist type of stuff, if they have him not stepping down, but because of the weapons that are around him, he doesn't need to take as many first team reps or second team reps at wide receiver. So I just didn't know if they were dialing back his snaps for that. With that being said, the other guys fighting for the 6th spot, Laquan Treadwell, James Prochet, Tariq Black, Tylan Wallace, Shamar Bridges, Dante Demas. So right now, in my eyes, it's looking like it's a 2-horse race between Laquan Treadwell and Tylan Wallace. Treadwell because he's got the bigger body, obviously he's got the NFL experience, and he's been doing well in practice. And Tylan Wallace over James Prochet because Tylan Wallace gives you that, supposedly when he's on the field, gives you that special teams quality that obviously we know the Ravens, they really like to have their guys contribute on special teams, especially if they're not going to be, true wide receiver talent. No shot at Wallace, but he's a little further down the depth chart than he was even the last year or two. So I'm really interested to see how Tariq Black does. I've heard a lot of really good things about him coming from camp. And he's a little bit of a bigger-bodied guy, so I want to see him do well as well. But, the rest of the guys, I don't know about Shamar Bridges. James Prochet, again, camp champion. But, yeah, so that's it for the wide receivers. Real quick note on the offensive guard position, left guard position. I know John Simpson and Big Salah, they're going to be going back and forth. They have been at camp. They are going to during these games. But I'm curious to see who starts that game. I have a feeling it's going to be Simpson because of his experience, but I'd be really excited and happy if it's Salah because I'd love to see him run with the ones and do well. That would be pretty exciting. Not only for his rookie contract or his age, but also just because I feel like the talent is there. With John Simpson, everybody just keeps talking about him because of his experience, that he's been in the league. No one ever talks about whether he's good, which is a little bit of a, I don't know, makes me a little bit nervous. So I'd rather see what Big Salah has and just kind of roll with him if he's good enough. All right, kind of a little bit about touching on the offensive guard position, but sort of not really. I don't know what we're doing with the fullbacks. Like, Patrick Ricard, since he came back from his offseason hip injury, or surgery, I'm sorry, he has not taken any snaps at fullback in this offense, which, being a new offense, you would assume that he would, or he would need to be up to speed with the offense. Ben Mason, he's been taking snaps at tight end. So I don't know if they're just going to straight up say to heck with the fullback position. So that'll be something to watch in the first preseason game to see where Ricard lines up. If he's getting third string snaps at the offensive guard position, could be some preseason depth there for Simpson and Saleh. All right, moving on to some of the defensive positions that I'm interested in. For the defensive line, more so, like, we know who our main guys are going to be, and I'm sure we'll still see some Travis Jones. I doubt we'll see much out of Matabike, Pierce, or Washington. But I want to know what our depth looks like there. We went out and got Angelo Blackson. We've got Rashad Nichols. Like I said, we might see some of Travis Jones, but probably not too much. Brent Urban, I don't know how much we see of him. He is a veteran, but he's not really like a starter. And then Trey Botts, don't know much about him really, but I'm excited to see what some of this depth looks like. I would really like to know that behind the starters, we've got some quality depth, So let's talk about the inside, middle linebacker position, because behind Roquan and Patrick Queen, I'm really excited to see what this group looks like, because I think having some sort of a rotation could help. So Malik Harrison, he's been on the team for a while. He's fine. I'm really excited to see what Josh Ross can do. Really bummed out when he got injured last preseason. He was a tackling machine. I thought his awareness was really good. I thought his intelligence looked really, really good. I know he's got some physical limitations with his speed and reactions and whatever, but I don't know, man. He just seemed to be the kind of guy that was in the right place at the right time, like a Anthony Levine, like a Chuck Clark. Some of these guys that are underrated, but they become very important cogs to the Ravens defense. Delshon Phillips, another one that sort of has had a really, really good camp, seems to do really, really well in coverage as well, which is excellent to hear, out there catching interceptions and whatnot. I don't think we see any of Trenton Simpson. He's been kind of dealing with injury stuff, so I'm sure they're going to keep him nice and safe. But Christian Welch, he's also on the team. I don't know. I'm not really high on Christian Welch. I know he's another special teams guy, but if Josh Ross had stayed healthy last year, I think he would have had the spot over Welch, and I hope that's the case this season. I don't really know how I feel about Harrison, but if he has a good preseason, then, sure. If he earns his spot on the team. All right. Outside linebacker, obviously we're not going to see Tyus. I don't think we might see. I'm on the fence as to whether or not I want to see Odafe Owe and Ajabo, just because I'm terrified of them getting injured. That room is so thin, and as excited as I am to see what Jeremiah Moon looks like, Tavius Robinson, I don't want to rely on them, to be honest. I'm more so like I want to see where they're at development-wise. So that's kind of what I'm interested in seeing. Jeremiah Moon, Tavius Robinson, Malik Ham, Kelly Sanders. Like, I want to see some of these guys, have some explosive plays, really pop off the field. I haven't been able to watch a lot of camp tape. I've watched as much as I could, and as much as the Ravens put out. Those Wired episodes are excellent. But I just really want to see these guys against other competition. So, all right, cornerback. It's a fun one. So, Rock Ya-Sin obviously is not going to play. Neither is Marlon Humphrey. Neither is Pepe, unfortunately. But I'm really excited to see what Jalen Armour-Davis and Kevon Seymour, Caillou Kelly, I really want to see what these guys can do. I think Caillou Kelly is the kind of guy, I feel like he's a little bit slept on right now. And it's not a bad thing. It's because Jalen Armour-Davis is playing better, than he was last season. Kevon Seymour, again, he's playing really well. I kind of doubted him last season, before the season, and he played really well when his number was called. So I'm happy about that. I also think Brandon Stevens, even though they say he's listed as a safety, I could see him definitely playing in that sort of Kyle Hamilton role from last season, right? Because he's got that size. But as far as the cornerbacks, Corey Mayfield Jr., I know he had one of the interceptions on that 9-interception Saturday. But I just want to see what our cornerback depth looks like because, yeesh, I mean, even John said that that's a concern. And he's like Mr. Downplay everything. So we'll see how they look. But last group for the defense is the safety group. I don't think Geno Stone is going to play. I think he's still dealing with an injury as well. But I want to see a lot of Brandon Williams. I want to see Jaquan Amos, Darryl Worley, and I really like Ardarius Washington. I just worry about how he's going to actually fit on this team. Like I said, I can see Brandon Williams playing that nickel spot, and some people were saying that Ardarius Washington also, that's kind of what he could also be in. But I just worry because Kyle Hamilton in that position last season, he covered a lot of tight ends. I don't think Ardarius high motor guy that he is covering many tight ends in this league. I am wanting to see what the Ravens defense figures out for him, but we'll see. Anyway. See, okay, so I forgot to mention, on the offensive side of the ball, I forgot to mention the running backs, but this ties perfectly into kick return and punt return. So I don't think we see much of Duvernay on the kickoff return. I don't think he needs to be out there, really. I'm more interested to see how Justice Hill, Prochet, and Keaton Mitchell do with those type of responsibilities. And then for the running backs in general, I think we'll see a good amount of Justice Hill with the first team reps. I don't think we see any Gus with his injury scare, and Dobbins is, anyway. Hopefully we see him back soon. Hopefully we'll see him by week 1. I think he might just be doing a little pre-camp skip. But when it comes down to it, Melvin Gordon and Keaton Mitchell, I've already said in a previous video, I am not interested in the Melvin Gordon situation. No thank you. Keaton Mitchell has been fast. He's caught passes out of the backfield. He's been returning kicks. Why would you, in my mind, right, not being a coach, why would you keep Gordon with a bigger cap hit, more miles on his legs, fumble machine, which I know John's got to love? Why would you keep him over Keaton Mitchell when he's a younger guy, he's faster, he can catch the ball out of the backfield at least as well as Melvin, it seems, so far in training camp, and doesn't really have a historically bad record of fumbling the ball away? I don't know. We'll get to see this over the preseason, I'm sure, and the rest of training camp, but I'm really looking forward to Keaton Mitchell. I think they hold on to 4 running backs, and I think Keaton Mitchell is one of them, because if you let him try to get to the practice squad, he's gone. That guy's not making it on the practice squad. So, anyway, I'm really looking forward to all these groups. I'm looking forward to some Ravens football. I know you guys are too. And yeah, it's finally here. Just hope everybody stays safe out there. Nobody gets hurt. Ravens have been really careful with that stuff recently, which is good. But anyway, yeah. So that's all I got for you on this one. We'll see how the first game goes. I'll check in with you guys after the video, or after the game, and we'll see how they do. So yeah, feel free to comment down below. Please like the video, and subscribe if you're interested. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.